a safe space, a place where you can feel seen, heard, understood, and valued. Welcome to Chat with Miss D. My name is Diana Mansoure. Welcome back to Chat with Miss D. Today we have two special guests, Baron and Minya. They're here to help us tackle a big question that we have all been wondering about. Right person, wrong time, or just loneliness in disguise. Baron is a social media influencer. He's going to give us his perspective and insight about this topic. Minya, singer, actress. She will definitely say it like it is without sugarcoating and also give her own experiences and thoughts about this topic. So without no further ado, let's welcome them. Welcome, guys. I'm so excited to have you on the show.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
How are you guys?
Great. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. So, Minya, for the viewers who doesn't know, who is Minya? Would you kindly tell us? I know who you are, but can you kindly tell the viewers who is Minya?
Well, I am Minya, and I am a singer and an actress, also a BBA, somebody who tries to balance between two types of lives. Sort of. There's the job me and then there's the art job me. And that's pretty much it. I'm a passionate advocate for self-love and empowering women. So it's always a pleasure to be here with Miss D.
Thank you for coming. And then we have our lovely gentleman here, Baron Mide.
Hello, hello.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm excited.
I know some of the Finnish people knows who is Baron because you are social media influencer and you are doing a great job, by the way. Influencing people. Don't be surprised.
Yes,
but for those who don't know who is Baron Mide, could you kindly tell the viewers?
Hi, I'm Baron Mide. I make content on social media and I just like to have fun.
Yes, so he just kept it simple. He just like to have fun. Why influencing some people? All right, guys. Well, lovely for your introduction. Thank you for coming. Let's go right into it. Right person, wrong time, or just loneliness in disguise. Now we're going to talk about understanding the concept. Baron, this question is for you.
All right.
What does right person, wrong time mean to you personally?
Personally, I just think if the person is, if it's the right person, then there is no wrong time. If it happens to be the wrong time, then at that moment it's not the right person for me. So it's a bit different for me. I see it a bit differently. It's the right person, wrong time. It's not the right person.
That's your opinion.
That's mine. Personally, just my opinion.
Yes. How about you, Minya, personally?
Well, I sort of agree with you in that sense that if the person seems right for you, but the moment isn't, and that's usually based on some circumstances, like external circumstances, right? So if they are not willing or capable of fixing those circumstances to fit the relationship with you two right now, then I don't know. I don't think that person in that sense is the right one for you in that moment then. Maybe later on at some point, if the circumstances change, then maybe they might be, but I feel like when there's a will, there's a way. And if you two are meant to be together, you will find a way to do that.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah, I think that's very understandable. Before we dive into more deeper questions, I kind of want to put you guys in the spotlight. As you know, in here we say like it is. Do you guys have any experiences that you would like to share with us, when it comes to this topic? Have you been in this kind of situation where you felt like, you know what, I met the perfect girl or perfect guy, but the timing wasn't right, or you know what I mean? Could you relate to this topic? And
yeah, I do have something like that. Yes, something very similar where I did meet someone, and then I happened to find out she's seeing someone, or she was seeing someone at that point in time. So it happens to be that I felt that was the right person, but it was the wrong time. But a spoiler, we are married now, so it turns out that maybe she was the right person.
Oh my god, that is so... Yeah, I love that.
Plot twist.
That was a great plot twist. Okay.
Well done.
Okay, so you knew from the right beginning that this person was the right person, but it just the timing was off.
First day.
Wow.
First day. We met at a party and I asked about her.
Yeah.
But then I found out, she's with someone, and she also mentioned that. So, but then 5 years later, we ended up seeing again. I'm like, how is he? He said, we're not together. And then
5 years later.
Yes.
Whoa.
Okay, guys, there's hope.
Yeah.
There's hope out there.
No, sorry, 4 years later.
4 years later, you met again.
Yeah.
And then that time you just know that you're not gonna waste more time. You just
I told her. I told her when we started. I said, we are going to get married. But then it was like, of course they all say that. We are now.
oh my God, that's like music to my ears.
That deserves an applause. Really.
Wow,
That's amazing.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
How about you, Minya? Is it something you can relate to Baron's story?
After that, I can't say anything.
Have you been kissing a lot of frogs?
Yes, so many
God.
frogs. I'm like, the frogs are endless.
Quote unquote. You know what frog mean, right?
I get it, but
Okay.
that's just shocked me.
Well, yeah, I mean, at one point, there was a time that I thought I met the right person, and the circumstances weren't great, so I thought maybe it's not the right time. There was a lot of complications with exes and, children with exes and stuff like that. And I thought, well, maybe in the future, because he also kind of kept giving me hope to make me feel like something would happen in the future. But then eventually that didn't end up happening. And at some point...
Is this person, sorry to cut you off, were you together with this person? And how long were you guys together?
Like 1.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah. And then after we broke up, I was kind of like, oh no, I lost the person that was like my person. But then I started thinking, was he really my person though? Like, we would have ended up differently if we were meant to be together. So I don't think I have actually met the person that was right for me yet. Yeah.
That part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can relate to that. Sometimes also age has a lot to do. Age is a big factor in a relationship, because sometimes when you meet somebody, I guess you were in your early 20s, right? When you met this guy?
That was about 2 years ago, so not so long ago.
Okay.
So 25-ish, yeah.
Yeah.
Fresh.
Okay, so we do have two different insights when it comes to right person, wrong time, and just loneliness in disguise. This is something that we can both... all of us relate to. Baron had a good plot twist on that. So he saw somebody that he liked from 5 years ago, and now he married that person. I wish there was more people like that out there, So there is hope, ladies. There is hope. There is hope out there. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna go with Minya on this one, okay? Minya, when you explained to me just now about your previous relationship and experience towards this topic, it just made me thought about, like, do you believe timing is everything in a relationship, or is it just an excuse?
Timing is not really everything, but of course it does affect things. But like I said before, I think even if there are obstacles in your way, you can always move them around. Like jobs, different countries, like distances, past relationships still kind of, being in the present and being kind of the complicating factors in the present time. I think there's always a way to move those things around. So, of course, timing does have its effect on relationships, but I don't think it's everything. And I think often it is used as an excuse. Yeah. Sort of like, oh, now is not the right time, I'm not ready yet, blah, 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 which might be true. And people do have to take their time before they get into things. But yeah, I don't think timing is everything. Yeah. It's not everything, but it's also not always an excuse. So it's not really like a simple yes or no answer. Yeah.
And I think that Baron is a perfect example of that, because as he said earlier, he knew what he wanted. Yeah. And so, Baron, it is true what they say about men. Men do know what they want, when it comes to relationship, because there are a lot of mixed signals that we ladies will be getting from men. And this is not the question that I wanted to ask, but I actually want to ask, because from a man perspective, since you met your wife 5 years ago, more than 5 years ago, you already knew that this person is going to be your wife. I want you to answer this question for all men out there, because some men be giving ladies mixed signals. Is it true that men do know what they want? And for the mixed signals they're giving these ladies out there, how can I rephrase this question in a way that it doesn't sound like I'm hating them?
No, I get what you mean.
You get what I mean, right?
I would answer.
How do you know when a man is serious about you? Maybe that's how I should rephrase it.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
How I'll put this is, first of all, in my case, about 8 years ago, when I first saw her, it was initial attraction. I did not know in that exact moment, like, I'm going to get married to this person.
Okay.
So it was the initial attraction, and then some years after, when we then met again, and then I was relentless also, by the way. I made it very clear, but then I knew there. But it was also, I think it's also because I was at a point where I wanted to really settle down. So if I was going for the next person, I know the next person I'm picking is the person I want to settle with. So
you were ready. You were ready to settle down.
Yes. So I feel it has to do with to be honest, timing is important in that case because it's a time in his life where he feels he's ready to settle down. So then whoever comes, if he's attracted enough to that person, most likely he will settle down.
He will settle down.
Yes.
Okay.
So more like a personal timeline.
Yes.
It's more
sort
like
of a thing,
personal
like
timeline.
where you are with your process, with yourself and your readiness.
I could have met her when I wasn't ready to settle down, and maybe we wouldn't be married by now.
Yeah,
Right,
that's true. Yeah.
So it depends.
Yeah,
also
your
on
timing. Yeah, your timing was perfect, and then you met her at the perfect. No, well, not the perfect timing, but
Yeah. It's a lot more dramatic than that. Like, very specific. It was given. But that, I'm sure, is another question also. There's one question that would relate that to.
you're gonna come to that later. But I want you to answer this question for the men. Is how do you know when a man is ready to settle down?
To be very honest, you can't ask the "what are we" question first of all. But secondly,
What are we? Okay.
You have to watch. You have to watch for how deliberate he seems. If he's very direct, without you asking, if he's saying already these very specific things, there is a very good chance.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
So
he's trying to be-
intentional man. Like,
intentional.
intentional man. Yeah.
Good tip.
Yeah. Okay, let's dive into this role of loneliness. You know, how often do you think people confuse loneliness with love and attachment, Minya?
Often.
Something we can all relate to, right?
To put it bluntly, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like a slippery slope. If you're not comfortable with being by yourself, or if you're not used to being alone, if you've always been in relationships from like one to the next, it can be really scary to be by yourself with the emptiness and your thoughts. I feel like your thoughts might be super scary sometimes to face, you know, and the feeling of I'm actually here alone. But once you get used to it, it can be actually very beautiful.
That's true.
Because it allows you time to think about what you really want and what you really are going to do next. Because sometimes if you just get into the roller coaster of going from one thing to the other, you're not really taking the time to plan to really think and go inside and see what it is that you actually want. So I think pretty often it is that way, that you see somebody that kind of matches what you want or what you think you want, and you kind of grab on to them. And you're like, oh my God, this is now the person that I need in my life.
Been there.
Yeah, me too. And they have this and that and everything, and they can basically make me feel whole and feel the loneliness that I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is the dangerous part where you might start to like ignore red flags or ignore things that are not right or that are not matching or are straight out toxic because you want to hold on to the good things of them so much and to the fact that they fill the emptiness. So very often I think people do confuse love with loneliness, because are you really in love with this person? Are they really loving you back? Are they bringing you good? Are they bringing value to your life? Or are you just trying to distract yourself from the fact that you're lonely or you're not where you are, like where you want to be in life, or you're unhappy in other ways?
Exactly. I definitely agree with you on that.
It's a distraction. It's a very easy distraction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, what do you say about that, Baron?
I mean, that was really deep. I mean, that was like
She went in deep.
Yeah, but I could feel also the personal part of it.
Yes.
Like, it feels like you've been through something like this.
Might be.
Wow.
Not she. I think we can speak for all women. They've been something, you know what I mean? And as she said earlier, she's an advocate of self-love. So for her to be in this journey right now where she is, she needed to get to know herself, who she is. And now she knows who she is. She knows her worth. She knows what she deserves and what she's looking for.
Yeah.
So you do love yourself. You're just looking for somebody to add to that love.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I understand you, girl.
That's really good.
Yes.
I've never experienced that, so I'm sorry.
You've never experienced what?
No, I've never been in a situation where I wasn't just comfortable being with myself. It's a bit different for
men. Yeah.
For guys, but I can see how that is possible.
Yeah. No, to be honest with you, there's a lot of in general, there are a lot of people who are not content with themselves. So some people use some distraction. It could be it can be sexual relationship or drugs or whatever to get you distracted, to get to know yourself and love yourself.
You're chasing the high.
So some people are fascinated just to be with somebody, so they don't need to be with their own thoughts. Go on.
No, just continue.
While some other people, they are, busy, intoxicating themselves just to avoid that feeling.
It's
of
like
getting
escaping.
to know themselves.
Yeah, but that sexual relationship part also, there's a question I need to ask, right?
Yes, of course.
I've heard people say, look, if you're single, you still have needs. Right?
Yeah.
So in that situation, is that a distraction, or are you just satisfying that need? And then you're choosing to satisfy with one person because every adult knows if you have multiple partners, it's gonna crash.
Yeah. For me, to each his own. And if you're single, why not? If you're willing to explore yourself, be out there, do what's best for you.
Let's say with one person, right?
With one person, yes.
And then, because we're human beings, you start to get attached to this one person.
Yeah.
In that case, are you just running away from loneliness, or this is just the natural thing happening where you're attracted to this person, you start seeing each other, and then I love you.
No. Actually, I'm going to speak on behalf of the ladies. Now, ladies.
Yeah.
Because most ladies, they're always like, we can do friends with benefits. It's okay. We can do casual, situationship. Stop lying to yourself. I'm keeping it real. I'm sorry. I'm going to keep it real.
Okay, let's hear it.
No, you got to stop lying to us, because what you need is love. What you need is caring. What you need is tenderness. What you need is a man to really claim you and be with you. You know what I mean? So don't because I feel like some ladies are just being like, okay, I can be that for him because I want him to be next to me. I'm gonna put myself out there a bit, okay? Yes, right now I am single, not searching. If I want to, I could be with somebody. Don't get it twisted, okay? Now, the thing is, with me, I know who I am. I'm content with who I am, you know what I mean? So whoever comes in the table, he will have to add to that. So there's no way I am looking to be somebody's situationship or somebody hook up, you know what I mean? I'm not interested. I'd rather be alone in my own happy zone. You know what I mean? So please, ladies, when you respect yourself enough, I am not shaming you, do you, but what
happened to Hot Girl Summer?
What
are you talking about?
Media, let's be for real. There comes some stages in life, especially, want to be hot girl summer and have fun. But then, when you're like in your late 20s, 30s, going to your 40s.
Who's 30? Nobody's 30.
No, I am 30, going to my 40s.
To be honest, I'm kind of pushing, I'm not gonna lie.
No, for the ladies, exactly. When you're 25, over 25 plus, you are looking to settle down. You're not looking for... Jesus didn't make you for you to be somebody's side piece. Come on now.
First of all, not
she does have a point.
You know what I mean?
Not everyone wants to settle down.
That's just the lie. People want to say to themselves to feel better for themselves. We gotta keep it real. Who wanna be somebody's side piece?
You don't have to be a side piece.
But not necessarily a side piece, though.
It's a fun thingy.
If I may pitch in, may I pitch in?
Maybe I'm just old-fashioned.
May I pitch in?
Of course, I would love.
Well, so I used to think exactly what you just said, actually. But since this past relationship that I explained to you about, something kind of changed in me, and I had this there was a trip to Paris and a whole, I don't know, some sort of like an awakening that happened in me. And I thought, you know what? I don't want to depend on anybody emotionally or sexually ever again. I just want to be by myself. And now I'm completely happy being single, but I'm just saying that friends with benefits can be beneficial if both parties are indeed like on the same page about it. If nobody's catching feelings,
big one. And you know what?
Nobody's catching feelings.
Yes.
All right. It can happen. It can happen. Nobody's catching feelings.
Yeah.
And you both know what you're doing from the get-go. And it's not being anybody's side piece if the other person is not with anybody else either. And it's just like satisfying the need that you have sometimes.
Yes. Okay.
But it doesn't get like codependent in any way. It's just like, hey, do you have time? Yeah, sure, great. And let's, enjoy.
You know what? Exactly. And I respect your perspective on that.
Thank you.
And definitely no judgment zone on that. This is where you see two different people. You are, like, hey, do you? You know what I mean? But that is something that I have never thought of.
And I understand that.
And will never thought of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm a wife. So,
I get that.
You know what I mean? Like my even when I'm with a guy dating, I give wife treatment.
Yeah.
So, like for me, like, hey, that's not me.
I get it.
That's you know what I mean. But I respect where you're coming from. So we are two different people, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You do you. Protect yourself.
Exactly.
And
Yes. Yes.
Come on.
But I mean, to be honest, like at some point in life when you're really busy doing other things, it can be just easier to go that way.
Yeah.
It's like right now I wouldn't even like have time for a relationship. Maybe in the near future, yes. But right of this moment or the past year, I wouldn't have even have time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just both parties need to be on the same page and they need to be like transparent about what they're doing, and then everybody can do what they want to do, and that's it. As long as everybody respects each other.
Until someone
catches feelings.
Because someone always catches feelings.
That's the thing. Someone even it's not even only girls.
The guys, fine, we're human beings. I need to put this out there. Guys have feelings, okay? Let's just. It's not always. Yes, surprise.
Gasp.
We are surprised.
We do have feelings, so it is possible that a guy could, and it's painful.
A guy will catch feelings.
Yeah, because it's embarrassing and painful for a guy. You don't want to be the guy that's like, yeah, but I love you, and then she's like, you know what?
Why not?
But women love that.
It's beautiful.
No. But then it's beautiful until she's like, don't kid yourself. You know what this is, man. See yourself out. And you're like,
no, it's just the ego. It's the ego talk. It's the ego talk.
It's horrible. And you can't tell your friends too. You can't go to your friends and be like,
you know what? Minya, could you kindly tell him and the men's out there, it's okay to be vulnerable. We love vulnerable men.
Vulnerable and then reminded.
Do.
Yes.
Yeah, but being vulnerable and then she reminds you like, brother, the friends with benefits, bro. Respect yourself and we'll see you next week.
Well,
You're not telling your friends that.
Then you collect yourself and bow out.
You just go and cry in the car.
But why are men so scared to tell their friends that they also have feelings? Everybody has feelings. Everybody struggles with these things. Why not just talk about it?
We do that, but in a very casual way. It's like, just like, that's good, and that's it. But then you have that very close friend where you can open up to, but not in a group of friends. Then we're like, oh my god, how is she now? It's like, I think I'm in love, guys. No. Wait till you're engaged. If I was my fiance or when we were, it's different. Like, it makes sense. But
okay, not on the.
We're friends with benefits, and then I'm coming to sit here telling the man them like, I'm in love. It's like.
It's like no.
Yeah. All
right, guys.
Okay.
In the topic of the role of loneliness, I would like to ask Minya this question. How do you differentiate between genuine connection and just filling the void?
That is a very good question. How do I differentiate?
Genuine connection and just filling the void. Well, Baron have a perfect example.
I'm just thinking of like, because I know I've been there.
Yeah.
In both in real connection and in filling the void. I know, but I'm just trying to think like, what is the thing that made me recognize? Well, I think when I was just trying to fill the void, I was just holding on to something that was no longer there and it wasn't serving me anymore. I think it's a pretty good indicator to kind of think of whether being with this person is bringing you more good or bad, whether you're crying more often than laughing.
Exactly.
And if you find yourself crying more often over this person than you are feeling good about yourself when you're with them or being with them, then I think
filling the void.
Yeah, you're filling the void and you're holding on to something that has been gone a long time ago. Yeah. So I think you should always ask yourself this question if you're doubting whether this is healthy anymore, is am I crying more or am I laughing more when it comes to this person? And that's how I woke myself up to the reality of wait a minute, what am I doing here? Why am I being with somebody who doesn't bring me value and who doesn't bring joy, but rather it takes from me emotionally?
That part.
So yeah, I guess that's how you can tell.
And how can you tell when it's genuine connection?
When it's genuine connection and things are healthy and working, then they are bringing good to you. They are making you feel good. They're making you feel appreciated. They're making you feel loved. They're making your life easier rather than more complicated and more dramatic and more fighting and drama and whatever. So when it's a genuine connection, and well, of course, there can also be a genuine connection that is unhealthy.
Yeah.
Like, based on your trauma, and you can be attached to the wrong type of a person due to your traumas and for the wrong reasons. That's also possible, but maybe that's a different question. But yeah, when it's a genuine connection, things should be
easy flowing,
better. Yeah, more positive than negative. Yes. Definitely.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
How about you, Baron?
Well, I'll start with the last thing she said. It's like, it could be from a place of trauma, because I just noticed we've been talking about the other person, and sometimes we are the bad person. So to be honest, it could be filling the void because the other person could think it's genuine, sincerely just trying to be good, and you just have the trauma from the past, and then you're just freaking out over little things, and it's not the person but you. So you could be crying all the time, but it's because of you've not healed from something else, and the other person is just confused. What's going on?
Good point.
And secondly, by the way, why I was laughing was when you said filling the void.
Yeah.
So I was what void?
The emptiness.
The emptiness.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, but I loved your perspective on both inside.
Trauma cycle, the same toxic pattern, which I kept repeating is I choose like men who remind me of somebody in the past that things didn't work with. It's kind of like banging my head against the wall. Like this type of stuff didn't work last time either. Why am I going for the same type again and again and again and then crying about, oh, why is this not working? Well, it's not working because I keep repeating the same stuff.
Exactly.
And I'm not doing it consciously. I'm not looking for this type of a person consciously, but it just feels somehow safe, and therefore it's attractive, even though it wouldn't be safe at all, even if it would be toxic, but because I've been there before, it feels familiar. And then I just go towards the familiar, and then I find myself in the same situation over and over
again.
And this might also have another word called daddy issues.
Daddy issues. So, that is something that we're going to talk about on a different episode.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of ladies do have that, daddy issues.
And it's very unconscious often.
Yeah. Baron, I do have a question for you. Do you believe in destiny when it comes to love, or is it more about choices and timing?
I most definitely do not believe in destiny. I believe things could be timed right, but to make a relationship work, it's all about your choices. You can't leave it to fate. For example, in Finland, dating scene is dead. Every woman either has daddy issues or anxiety. So you have to decide if you're willing to put up with that and move on with your queen, or just charge it. So destiny, no. Choices, yes.
That was very insightful. Thank you for your perspective.
My personal opinion.
Thank you for that. Okay. Minya, how do you know when it's worth waiting for the right time, or just to move on?
That is a very complicated question, but I think if I could start from somewhere, it would be you have to be sure that you're both going to the same direction. It doesn't have to be right now. It doesn't have to be today or tomorrow or next week, but you should at least know that you're going somewhere, that the things that you both see for your future together are aligning. And if you both want different things, can you find a compromise to find more alignment? If alignment is not possible, if you are seeing yourself in completely different places, or if the things you want are completely different, then I think it's definitely time to move on, because this is a problem you will face later on as well. Or then the other person ends up making a huge sacrifice for the other person. While that might work for some, but most likely it's going to lead to some sort of resentment and issues. So I would say that is a very important starting point, knowing that you're going somewhat to the same direction and finding compromise in that. And then of course, if there are very big like clashes in your personalities, or you fight all the time, and like I said before, the golden rule of whether this is bringing me more good or bad, of course, if it's bringing you more negative energy into your life and more heartache and grief, then it's definitely time to move on. Life is too short to waste on a person who doesn't bring you joy and who doesn't add value into your life. Life is too short to sit home crying every day.
That part.
Yeah.
On that note, what advice would you give someone who feels stuck in the right person, wrong time situation?
I would say try to find an answer to whether you can fix this. Is this something that can be fixed?
Fixable.
This time issue, whatever that is, because it's related to some sort of a circumstance. So whether that's something you can fix, can somebody move closer to somebody? Can somebody start that job later or start a different job somewhere else? Or can somebody fix their situation with their exes and, you know, childcare issues? You know, can they be solved? If there's no solution to this time issue right now, whatever that is, and you can't see any fixing happening in the foreseeable future, then I would say move on and try to find somebody else who will be meeting you at the point where you can both come together in an alignment, because that will happen. That will be somewhere waiting for you. Because then if it's not happening now, you have no guarantee that it will happen again. Maybe if you're lucky, it will happen like it happened for you, that suddenly your paths will cross again and the timing will be right for the both of you, and external circumstances have fixed themselves or they've been removed or whatever, and then you can come together. Maybe that will happen. But if you cannot see that happening right now, you don't know how to fix that, then leave.
So that was the advice for our listeners. Minya did give a very good input on that. Baron, this question is for you. The advice for the listener: how can people become more aware of whether it's love or just loneliness that keeping them attached?
What? I don't know that. Wait. I don't know. I guess time will tell.
It's okay.
I think time will tell.
Time will tell.
Yeah, because you can't just figure it out at the start. You must be in love with the person, or you're just lonely. So with time, you'll figure it out, and when you know, you decide what to do from there.
Exactly. Okay, Minya, I'm gonna ask you this question. So Minya, this is the last question I would love for you to advise our listeners out there. What are the signs people look to understand if it's truly the wrong time or just not the right person? So,
yeah. Well, I think it all starts from their willingness and your willingness to come together and to remove all the obstacles in your way to be together and to make it work. If there are some fundamental issues that you don't really see eye to eye on, are they important enough to throw the whole relationship away or not? Or are they something that you can agree to disagree on, or something that you can compromise on? I think if there are a lot of clashes when it comes to like super important topics, I think then it may not be the right person for you. But if it's somebody who's really willing to work with you on building a future together, everybody's facing issues. Relationships are never easy. It's never cut and dry. It's always complicated. It's just a matter of whether you both are willing to work on it together, and you can find the common tools to work on it that suits you. I think in that case, it might be the right person and maybe not the right time, but you can work on it. But if you cannot find the common ground, how you should even begin to fix it, if you fight about everything, you don't agree on anything, then I don't see how it would be worth fighting for.
True.
Girl, you say it like it is. I would love to thank Baron and Minya for this awesome time. Please welcome again. There you have it, guys. Minya and Baron say it like it is. They give us their opinion, perspective on this episode. Right person, wrong time, or just loneliness in disguise. Guys, I truly want to thank you guys for coming to my show.
Thank you very much.
It has been insightful.
Super.
I learned one or two things.
I learned also. Solid deep points from you. And your questions are hard.
Yeah.
So thank you. Thank you, guys. And stay tuned for our next episode. Until then, bye-bye.
Bye.